Internet, hello, you absolute lovelies, and welcome to a very sleepy Sunday post-Turkey Day this week in comics. Now, this show is usually about the news that happened this week in comic book adaptations, whether it's film or TV, and I also highlight the comics themselves, the books that came out this week, hopefully getting folks into comic book stores and discovering the wonderful world of comics themselves. And I'm going to admit something. It has been a very slow news week. We are going to discuss the Wonder Man press that started. We are going to discuss that fun little picture Downey posted on Thanksgiving. We are going to discuss Charlie Cox talking all about Foggy Nelson. There is a little bit of news, but I mainly wanted to do this stream because the comics this week were really, really great. So this show has always been about the comics themselves, but this episode is particularly about how good the comic books were this week. So going to be talking about that little scattering of news, a little bit about Thanksgiving. Hopefully you had a good Thanksgiving. Hopefully you had a restful weekend. I managed to take 2 days off. So very excited about that. We're going to be diving into all of that and more. So if you're new to this page, we cover comics here. We love comics here. I read 50 to 70 comics a week, and I break down my favorite 9 for you on this page. If you want to know what I thought of the other 40 or so, my Patreon is $5, and you can see letter grade ratings for every single comic. That's 200 comics a month for $5, so I can save you some money if you and I see similarly eye to eye. But this page, always free. I just like you guys clicking. I like you guys sending in questions. This live stream, I will not end until I answer every single super chat. And I also cover movies and TV. This is Welcome to Dairy season, covering that every Sunday. Just covered each individual episode of Stranger Things. I got to figure out how I'm going to do that with Christmas because I do not want to be filming on Christmas and I don't have screeners. So that'll probably drop sometime that week. And I'll also be covering all the big movies the rest of the season. We've got Marty Supreme. We've got Avatar. We've got all sorts of stuff. So if any of that sounds like your cup of tea, please hit that subscription bell. Also, like this video. Let's talk about the news. Good to see you lovelies in the chat. Impromptu Sunday live stream out of nowhere. Thanks for pressing like. I see that number going up. I appreciate you. Let's Douglas McKinney, happy anniversary to the great Darth Vader. Much appreciated. Good to see some OGs. 29 years to that absolute legend. Congratulations, man. That's on as many years as I've existed. That is an incredible feat. Congratulations. Let's kick off with some love in the chat today. All right, so not a lot of news, as I said, but let's talk about what we do got. First off, I want to say the Wonder Man press kicking off delightfully. Wonder Man is a show that I am very excited for. It was supposed to come out this December. They moved it to January. It was going to be the last thing from the anything comics, but especially from the MCU in 2025. I'm kind of glad they moved it to next year. It does feel this end of this year, I feel like everybody's just tired. It does feel like a lot. So January, I think it's got a little bit more space. There's not as much in January as there is in December. Generally, it'll get more time to get some press and stuff out. In January, we are getting all episodes. I don't remember if it's a weekly release model or if it's like a chunk and then another chunk like Ironheart. I want to say they're releasing it in big chunks, but I'm not sure. I don't know that officially has been announced or if the rumors are just rumors. So when it comes out in January, we're going to be covering that here with zeal because it is Yahya Abdul-Mateen II as Simon Williams. It is Ben Kingsley reprising his role as Trevor Slattery. And what's really fun about this press is the character of Wonder Man is an actor. And in the MCU, they've canonically made actors a part of the tapestry, and Trevor Slattery is probably the most iconic bit of the acting element in the world. We've got obviously the musical for Captain America. We've got certain meta-ness as far as acting. Obviously, She-Hulk breaking the fourth wall. Deadpool somehow going to be folding in. All of that stuff is meta, but the meta nature of Trevor Slattery, the actor, I thought was a really fun, cheeky thing they did with Iron Man 3. A lot of people hated it, but I thought it was great. And then even the people that hated it in Iron Man 3, I think enjoyed it in Shang-Chi. The show is uniquely poised to have this character, Simon Williams, not really care about his powers, but care about the fact that he wants to be an actor. And that allows Trevor Slattery to be a very unique fixture in the storytelling. And they're using this to do bus ads. That's the thumbnail for this very video. There's some actual in MCU, like within the story of the MCU, canonically MCU ads for method acting that Trevor Slattery is doing. Not Ben Kingsley, Trevor Slattery in MCU meta-ness. This is all very Simon Williams. I think this is all really fun and cheeky and delightful. It feels very much like the studio, which is funny because I think they shot it quite a while ago. And again, I'm a huge fan of Yaya. One of my favorite interviews I've ever done was with him years ago back in comic book shopping. I've run into him a couple times since, and the dude is a delight to talk to. One of my favorite quotes ever, actually, is from Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. This has stuck with me for a really long time. He said, when we were talking about his career, he has 2 degrees. This dude hustled his butt off, and he got 2 degrees, one in theater and one in architecture. He's a big architecture junkie. We talked about that a lot. He then went on to do a movie, Ambulance, with Jake Gyllenhaal, who's also an architecture junkie. And the 3 of us talked about architecture at the Ambulance event, and just a great dude. But with those 2 degrees, he said, if they weren't going to let me on stage, I was going to build it myself. And that has really stuck with me. That is how hardworking this dude is. This is how much this guy perseveres. And he is such a superhero. He's played Black Manta. He's been in one of my only 5-star shows, Watchmen. He is incredible. I almost said a spoiler, but I think it's been long enough. He is the Dr. Manhattan of Watchmen. The dude is insanely talented. Anyway, Wonder Man, I'm mainly excited about for him. The meta-ness is nice icing on the cake. I'm very excited to see how they play that off. And these ads are definitely in that vein, so I'm really excited. That drops in January. Very excited to see how that pays off. And what a great way to kick off the MCU next year. Next year, we've got that obviously kicking off the year, but we also have X-Men 97. We also have Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. We also have Doomsday. We have a good amount of stuff next year. We've got Daredevil Born Again Season 2/Daredevil Season 5. We've got, I think, like 8 properties next year, and I'm very excited to see how all of that will shake out. We have Vision Quest. So going to be covering all that right here. Hit the like button if you want to see more. I also am going to try to get something done with Yaya to promote all this goodness. So I'm going to try to figure out something we can do. And I really want to be part of the Wonder Man press because it is something I'm really excited about. So wanted to give it some love right here before we dive into more. All right, next bit of news is, again, small news week. Usually a photo shared to Instagram would not make my top news things. But the other piece of the thumbnail of this very episode is a wishbone breaking between Iron Man and Dr. Doom, obviously both played by the great Robert Downey Jr. I thought that was an interesting little cheeky way to acknowledge that he is in fact both these men. And we haven't seen the official look at the costume yet, but I love to see, even in the animated style, as close as we can approximate. Like it does look like they're going to be doing the suit. Now, obviously this is just a drawing. It's cheeky. It's just acknowledging Thanksgiving. It's cute, but I am really excited that we haven't seen the suit too early. I'm really excited that I think, will be comic book accurate. And I'm really excited that Downey Jr. is so invested in the lead up to this. I didn't love, as you guys know, the appearance in the chairs being just like Tony Starkish, because Downey Jr.'s got an energy to him, and I get that for marketing. Everything else in the marketing I've been intrigued by. I think the downiness of the hype is going to fuel a lot of ticket sales. I just am excited to see the Doom side of all of this. So I think it's great. They're doing a long build up. This obviously drops next December, so we've got quite a bit of time. I really, really hope that I can separate the Downey from the Doom and the Doom from the Downey. But every time I've seen a Doom image, I have gotten really excited because I'm such a big Dr. Doom fan. So time will tell. I'm excited marketing is starting so early. I think it's insane. We're getting more and more commonly year out marketing stuff. Like, we are most likely getting a Dr. Doom image. We are most likely getting a Doomsday trailer in front of Avatar. That is the very, very established rumor, which means sometime in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, somewhere in there, we're going to get our first look at Doomsday. That is a year before the movie comes out in December of 2026. And the Odyssey is doing the same. It is really interesting to see, Hunger Games just had a year out trailer and it looked great. And holy crap, they've got a lot done. So more and more commonly, we're getting this in marketing. And I think it's really interesting. So time will tell. I just wanted to give it some love and appreciate that they're doing some love on Thanksgiving. All right, I got some super chats from you lovely folk. And then we'll get to the last 2 news stories. And then we're going to talk about some of my favorite comics from last week. There's some really good stuff in this week to talk about It's coming. All right, first up, first super chat. Thank you very much to Spidey Sensei. Spidey Sensei, always classy, always delightful. PS5 fund. If you're new to this page, every dollar, if not marked, goes to an eventual house. I want to buy a house before I'm dead. I believe, and so the general is house fund. But we have been doing some other various fund, including PS5 fund. But I also wanted to tell you guys we got, actually, I'll wait until after the next thing. I bought a thing and I'm going to tell you guys what we're doing next. But first up, super chat from Spidey Sensei, PS5 fund. Congrats, Coy. That hair is looking thicker than a bowl of oatmeal today. Glad you finally got 2 days off to relax. The hair is looking thick from the rest. I tell you what, 2 days off. It's been, oh man, that wasn't like full of errands or life stuff or like, the general I've got an obligation somewhere. I don't know that I've had 2 days off that didn't have chock full of obligations since March. I think it was March. Because like even on these 2 days, I had stuff to do, but it was more off than on, and that was a beautiful gift. So yeah, it's been a little bit. I feel great. I've got a slight cold, but I'm so rested that I feel better than normal, even with a slight cold. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. And yeah, man, this is actually the ugly duckling stage of hair transplant. So all the transplanted hair fell out. So that's why these are especially, because some of the hair around, some of my native hair also fell out. But this will all fill in about 3 months, and then I'll look less like Jude Law. And all the thickness here is because my surgeon's amazing, and I'm very, very fortunate. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. Next up, Scotty doesn't know that Fiona and me do it in a van every Sunday. Thank you very much for the super chat, Scotty doesn't know, and for your excellent taste in film and Matt Damon cameos. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving and weekend. If you had to choose 5 to 6 heroes and villains, this is fun, from Marvel and DC to have a Friendsgiving with, who would they be? Scotty doesn't know, with the excellently topical and delightful game. Let's see. 5 or 6 heroes, villains, Marvel, DC. Who do I want to hang with? Spider-Man is immediate, because Spider-Man, I know, would be late. I know we'd have hijinks. I know we'd have stories, but man, oh man, that man's funny to me. So I'm going to go Cyclops. I'm going to go, I'm going to go Mr. Miracle, because he's a family man, and I feel like he'd really be invested in the actual family element of the holiday, which is important to me, and like the community element. And I feel like that also gets Big Barda and their little kid in there. But I'm just going to count it as Scott Free himself. I feel like he'd be a lovely person to have at Thanksgiving. I'm going to go Jean Grey, because all recipes ever could be in her mind. She could just reach out and make the most delicious food possible through the power of her telepathy. And I think she would care about family. Like, there's other telepaths, but like Emma would not care about a good meal. She would just like hire someone. Whereas I feel like Jean would be invested in the meal and use telepathy to get us there. When I think holidays and wholesomeness, I think Superman. Superman is like golly gee, and any problems we had, any chaos in the kitchen, that man could use his myriad of powers to make sure everything got solved. So we got Spider-Man, we got Scott Free, we got Jean Grey, we got Superman. I'm gonna go. Oh, that's funny. Nah, we know from the animated series that Jean can't cook to save her life. Had Gambit crashing out. A funny bit, but it doesn't canonically make sense with her power. So I'm going she can cook, but I'd forgotten that. I like that. Okay, so we got 4. I'm keeping Jean. Let's see. Who else? I've got Superman, so I feel like I don't need Barry Allen, because I've got the speed of Flash, but with other powers like heating and cooling and like effectiveness, right? The ice breath, the laser eyes, the heat eye, all that stuff would help in the kitchen. I thought of Flash, but I pivoted to Superman because he's almost as fast, but with other perks. Who else would be just a good hang? Okay, let's do 2 more. Let's do 6. I'm gonna go with You know, it's funny. A lot of my favorite characters, like I would not want Deadpool there. He'd ruin it. I wouldn't want Beast there. He'd mess it up. Nightcrawler's sulfur smell would bother me. I'm taking this far too seriously. Um, Ooh, I like that. The Christian Unpronounceable Kamala. She is super family based and she would care about tradition and she would be invested. Co-signed Miss Marvel into that. And then final one, and this is going to sound maybe someone would be like, oh, that's racist, but I don't want just white food at this thing. And I feel like Luke Cage, not just because of Sweet Christmas, but Luke Cage, I um, I don't have traditional food at Thanksgiving. I don't really like turkey as much. I think it's dry even when it's not dry. I want like collard greens. I love stovetop stuffing, but I want some like hearty. I'm going Luke Cage. Luke Cage is coming, and I want to make sure he uh not only keeps the peace at the table if there's any chaos, but I want my food seasoned and I want it delicious. So Luke Cage is the final of the six. We got the Great Miss Marvel, we've got Power Man, we've got Jean Grey, we've got Spider-Man, we've got Scott Free, and we've got Superman. Boom. All right, there it is. I appreciate that question. That was a lot of fun cooking up and scheming. I appreciate y'all. That was an absolute blast. All right, let's do a couple more stories. Then I'm going to get our next super chats. A couple more came in while I was yapping. We'll get to those. I promise we will not leave until we answer every single one of those. Two more news stories, and then super chats, and then comic books. Might be a shorter episode today. That's okay. It's Sunday. I want to rest and relax. So if this is only like half an hour, we're vibing. We're hanging out. Any questions you guys got? And I'm gonna check the live chat briefly as well after this. So next up, Charlie Cox said, as much as he enjoys the theory that Foggy is in fact dead, everyone had various theories from Born Again season 1, various ways he could have survived, but he has nipped that in the bud, saying at a con, quote, Daredevil heard his heart stop. He's dead. I'm sorry. I'm very sad. I am. I love that theory, but it's wrong. You know what? I'm glad he's announcing it, getting ahead of it. Foggy Nelson will not be born again. That is not the name of the show. Daredevil born again. And as we saw in the show, it was really a Wilson Fisk and Daredevil being born again. It was both of these men becoming their Daredevil and Kingpin personas again. But Foggy, unfortunately, will not be born again. Eldon Henson, delightful fella from the seeming of things. I haven't met the guy, but like, what a lovely dude to come back, have that horrible, horrible moment happen to him, have that very impactful thing. Yeah, no more avocados at law. It seems he is dead. So just thought that was worth noting, that an actual confirmation of something, at least, he's Andrew Garfielding and they were roommates, so it's very possible. But it does seem that Foggy is dead. And again, slow news week this week. Just, I wouldn't normally pick that up, but I thought it was interesting. And final bit of news is in the world of movie theaters themselves. AMC is launching a discount pass that will provide Stubbs loyalty members a 50% discount on a large popcorn every day for $30 a year. Now, at first I was like, man, it's crazy to spend $30 to save money. But then I was thinking, man, if this helps like offset costs, how happy that makes me. Because you guys know I'm a movie theater guy. Anything to keep theaters alive, anything to keep them going. I was thinking about the actual math of it. If popcorn is like $8 or $9, I don't usually get popcorn. I worked in a movie theater for 6 years, from 14 to 20. My first W-2 job was at a movie theater. I popped too much popcorn. I eat it at a screening, but I don't buy it. Like, I don't need it. I don't crave it. If it's in front of me, I'm going to eat it. But if you go to the theater and you always get popcorn, and that's, let's say $10 for easy math, just to make it easy. I'm not sure, 8, 9, 10, wherever, people go. But $10, half off, that's $5 off every time. That pays for itself in 6 visits. If you go to the theater once a month, then half of your year is like it paid for itself, which I think is really great. And that is probably, still a 25% profit. It probably costs them $2 to make that popcorn. So if they charge $5 because you're getting half off, they're still making a couple bucks, and that $30 all goes to the bottom line of the movie theater. So I think this is really great. I think this is a really good opportunity, again, for theaters to find a way to make money in creative ways. I think if you love popcorn, then this is a really good opportunity for you to save a ton of money. And that was once a month that I priced that out. If you go once a week, it pays for itself in like 6 weeks at that 5 to 5 math. You know what I mean? Like that is potentially 46 weeks of savings a year for $30. So anything to save the theater. I thought this was worth noting. I'm not a popcorn guy, but the AMC A-list has saved me hundreds of dollars. Mine is $27 a month because I'm here in LA. Maybe it's 28. It's less than $30. Literally one Dolby or IMAX showing is like 25. So I am definitely team subscription services. If you use them, I'm definitely team save money. I'm definitely team keep theaters open. So AMC doing popcorn in a fascinating way. We will see. And then Nike Joy 12 in the chat says, will A-listers automatically get this? Because I heard a rumor they're doing away with popcorn buckets. I have not heard that rumor. I know popcorn buckets usually are a huge sale. Like they make a ton of money. So I doubt that personally. But we will see. And it also is not going to be a default because $30 is like an addition, like they're charging $30 for that thing. So I don't think A-listers by default are going to get it. I think it's going to be something A-listers can add to their subscription, but we will see. We will see. All right. Let's hit these super chats. Speaking of cinemas, next up, we got something from Cinemaze. Thank you, Cinemaze, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Cinemaze asks, previously, you gave me a 10K sub question to rank Batman villains. It became its own vid, and I got to 30K views. Thanks for the idea. Here's your share. Oh, dude, what a sweet thing to do. Dude, congratulations. 30,000 views is incredible. Well-deserved, good sir. I'm glad I could give you that idea. That's really freaking cool, man. And again, congrats on 10K subs. That is a beautiful landmark. Every time I hit like one of the big landmarks on this page, it shows you guys are here for the personal page. And I imagine Cinemaze, like that must have felt amazing for you too, to hit that benchmark of like something you grew yourself. You built it in a cave from scraps. Congratulations. And 30K views. Fuck yeah. I appreciate that, man. Thanks for telling me. And thank you for throwing in a super chat to celebrate it. I'm going to be doing a lot more like that next year. I think I'm going to be ranking more stuff. I think I'm going to be doing some costume stuff. I'm going to be doing arcs, like reviewing comic arcs. I'm going to announce which one soon for the first one to kick it off. But yeah, we're going to be doing like, I'm going to try to get posted in December. So stay tuned. Cool ideas coming. And that makes me happy, man. All right. Douglas McKinney, Darth Vader, anniversary man himself in the chat. House fund. Thank you. They're expensive. I'm trying my best. I'm working so hard, so every bit helps. Thank you. Darth Vader, thank you, good sir. Happy holidays, Coy. What's your favorite title from Age of Revolutions? I haven't read mine yet. Also, your thoughts on DCKO. All right, so Age of Revelations is a really interesting Age of Apocalypse sequel, and it's all of the X-Men books. It's crazy how many books this is covering. I think my favorite is Kid Omega's Quentin Quire's book, Omega Kids. No, I like the first issue. I didn't like the second one as much. It's been really hit or miss for me. It's been admittedly more miss than hit. Admittedly, there's probably too many of those books to really keep track of. There's a lot going on to really think of a favorite. Also, like I miss just core X-Men titles feeling, cohesive, and it's a little bit all over the place. But looking at my lists here, if you guys can check out my Patreon, I'm literally looking at my own Patreon to look at the letter grades I gave it. I gave Book of Revelation a B. I think Book of Revelation so far is doing pretty good at being like an anchor title. I really like that first Omega book, but I didn't like the second one. These are like B minus C's. A lot of these are not the strongest of grades. So yeah, I think that first issue of Omega is my favorite issue, and I think Book of Revelation is a decent anchor point overall. And then we've got Darth Vader coming back. Let's see here. Thank you. Good sir. Check out KoiCast, you lovelies. The guys often do casting games, build a team games, etc. KoiCast is my podcast with my dear producer, one of my good friends, much love to this man, Jake Lloyd Bacon. He started out as the producer of the show and then quickly evolved into co-host. He is the cast in Koi Cast. And because of that, we do a lot of games. You can call 818-794-0722 and leave a voicemail, and then we answer games. Like, you guys are the host of that show. It is a twice monthly show and then a 3 to 4 times a month Patreon show, but the regular show is free. You can cast it wherever you cast your pods, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, everywhere. It's called Koi Cast. It's my name plus cast, and it's me and Jake, and we do a lot of games and discuss a lot of goodness. So check that out. And Darth Vader has been there from the beginning, and always appreciate it, good sir. All right, we're gonna do one more, and then we're gonna dive into the comics themselves. Scotty Doesn't Know is back. Scotty Doesn't Know. Thank you, good sir. I'm just waiting for the shop reference or appearance and welcome to Derry. That would totally fit in with the government stuff going on already. Dude, totally. I love, yes, I agree. And I am very curious how the government stuff all kind of like lands. There's 3 episodes left. I'm really excited to see how this third act of the show plays out, because now we got Pennywise back. I've been enjoying the hell out of covering that show. Yes. Cosign. Guys, check out the coverage for Welcome to Derry. I've been really enjoying that show and really enjoying covering it. And Cinemaze, that's good to know. Costume stuff, please. That's how I built my channel. I thought it was like a throwaway idea because I like costume stuff. Like I remember when I was a kid, when the internet was in its infancy, I remember like building, like, I think it was in Microsoft Paint. It wasn't even on the internet. I remember getting images of Spider-Man costumes and ranking them in a visual that I don't think I ever shared anywhere because it was on Microsoft Paint. Now that I think about it, it was somewhere not connected to the internet. And I remember being like, this is so cool. And I had nothing to do with it. I was like 7. I didn't know where to put it. Now I can do that here. And now I can do that with the power of this thing that ties in beautifully. Guys, I went ahead and bought this. I was going to start to sell my geeky t-shirts. Like, I've got a ton of geeky shirts I don't wear anymore, and I might still sell them and just raise money for an editor. But I went ahead and bought this Black Friday. I am going to test it out with some videos over the next few weeks. I'm going to have my social media person come in and actually operate this, and we're going to build it out. And then once she helps me build it, I'm going to try to operate it during live stream. So this live stream, I'm hoping to do like a lower third. I'm hoping to bring in comic images that are going to be while I'm discussing the comic. I'm hoping to throw in some footage of stuff. I'm hoping to really build this out with the power of this. It's also got like audio levels. It's got stuff, but I got to learn the stuff. So I appreciate you guys being patient with me because this show has always been very lo-fi. You guys are literally on my laptop right now. I'm just looking at my laptop. I'm not even using it's an OBS. This is not Streamlabs. This is not OBS. I'm looking at the green dot of my laptop, and I'm just talking to you guys by hitting live on YouTube. That is the amount of tech knowledge I have. So this is going to be quite the learning curve. But when it's done, I can edit in real time with you guys live. It's going to be a lot of learning that I'm not good at. I'm not good at tech, but this is a tool that I'm very excited to see. And we're going to be diving in from there into hopefully more edited videos in general. I'm hoping to add some video elements to my reviews, but that's tricky because of licensing and copyright, and I don't want to get demonetized. So this is a start, and we're going to see from there. I appreciate y'all every bit you guys have helped on the super chat stuff. Helps me rationalize spending because you got to spend money to make money. And I want to grow this show, especially because it's really cool to do a live stream weekly with you guys. And this is the first step towards the coffee and comics version of the show, little Saturday morning cartoon to come next year. So yeah, we will see. MELD Studio. It seems easier. Interesting. Calm down, Rich. I appreciate the recommendation. MELD Studio. All right. Douglas McKenney, Darth Vader is trying to make me look bad. Maybe you should document your tribulations with learning the Stream Deck for laughs. Oh, you're going to see Trials and Tribulations live, good sir. You're going to see me flailing and freaking out and trying to... And yeah, maybe actually that's a funny idea. Maybe that's also a TikTok, a little super chat of me not super chat, a super cut of me flailing to stay alive as I try to learn technology as an old man on the internet. All right, let's dive in to the comics themselves, you lovelies. It was a glorious week in comic books. We're going to go in alphabetical order to not show any favoritism. That said, there were a ton of exceptional DC books this week. DC absolutely won the week. And I'm so excited by the sheer volume of greatness coming out of there. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of my 9 favorite books of the week are from my DC stack right here. Let's talk about them, you lovelies. My favorite comics from the week of November 26th were as follows. First up, we've got Ultimate Batman number 14. This is a huge issue. This issue is impactful. This issue is physically huge. Bane is physically huge. This issue is so bombastic and intense and hyper. I don't want to say hyper violent, but it's pretty hyper violent. The absolute Batman run has been so interesting to see how far you can push the Batman mythos without breaking the idea of the character. I didn't know if it would work. When it started, I was like, you know what? I trust Scott Snyder. I trust in his vision for boldness. Like, he's always really pushed envelopes. Court of Owls is a modern classic for a reason. But I was like, I don't know if Batman works this way. This is one of those issues that shows it really does. As you can see, Killer Croc there also fighting Bane. This issue's badass. Really enjoyed it. Absolute Batman number 14. Really, really loving that run. One of my second favorite of all the absolutes is right here. Absolute Wonder Woman number 14. We've got the second of 2 issues in a small little arc that ties into the greater second arc. But this is the second of 2. You can just pick up issues 13 and 14 to know exactly what is afoot. Really cool world building and mythology, as always. Really cool reinvention of the character. Really exceptional art. Really just a good old time. Absolute Wonder Woman is my next to only Martian Manhunter, and that's only 6 issues so far. But these are such great ways to reinvent characters, to make them approachable and interesting, and also just great storytelling. Really loving it with 14 right here. All right, next up in alphabetical order, going through my favorite comics from November 26th, we've got Batman, Green Arrow, The Question, Arcadia. I've got this as Batman, like in the alphabet, not as Arcadia, because I'd never find it again. This is under that long title here. I love all 3 of these characters. Batman is one of my favorite heroes of all time. Green Arrow is genetically how I appear. I can't grow a beard, but I can grow the Green Arrow, so I got it. And The Question is so slept on and so well written here. This book is an incredible detective noir story. As you can see, it's in issue 1. I think it's going to be 3 issues. It's Black Label. It's pretty hardcore. It deals with the 3 of them having very different personalities that overlap. It has a great little beat at the end that makes you realize how different all 3 of them are. It is a global spanning, huge, great use of medium story. This issue is just badass. Highly recommend it. Really enjoy it top to bottom. All right, next up in the world of the 26th comics, we've got DC KO number 2. This is a surprisingly well-written story, considering it could have been just a kid dumping out his toys in the sandbox and letting his heroes fight. That's effectively what it is, but with good writing. It shows how, when you write the right scenario, you can make an actually gripping story that's also fun, punching, and silliness. Second issue here, spoilers for the first issue that was a month ago. A character actually, you know what? Not spoilers. Non-spoiler. A character everyone thought was going to win got taken out. Issue 1. And now this issue, a character that seemed logical to win has a lot of twists and turns and changes, and it's really awesome. I love that this isn't just a punch 'em up. This issue involves them getting different totems and items in order to survive. Very video game, very exciting. But those totems are also great DC comic lore. Again, Scott Snyder, man, just absolutely killing it. Really, really enjoyed this one, and very bombastic and intense and surprisingly well written, considering it could have been just silly punching. All right, next up, Detective Comics. This is Detective Comics 1103. We are deep into Detective Comics. This comic started 81. It started 80 years ago. This comic's been around for a very long time, and that number is accordingly. But the beautiful thing is, this is part 3 of The Courage That Kills. You can only go back 3 issues if you want. So if you want to go back to issue 1100, that launches a new storyline, which is building up tension here. The reason this is so high on my list is Michael Janin. The art on this book is absolutely stunning. I love Tom Taylor. He's one of my favorite writers working right now, but the art by Michael Janin, I will follow this guy in any book. The art plus the writing in this title is dynamic. It's fun detective stuff. As you can see there, it is a Superman Batman little crossover moment. I love the art. I love the story. Just everything I want in a comic book. It is exceptional. I'm telling you, this week in comics was just so freaking good. All right, next up, I don't have the cover in front of me, so I'm going to pull up the cover on my phone so you guys can see an image to go along with what I'm describing. I saved it in advance, not like Googling over here. But my next comic of the week is going to be one of my favorite titles on the shelves. It is Department of Truth number 34. This is a book wherein this universe, if enough people believe in something, it becomes true. This is the first time in a few months they've gone back to the main storyline. The book is so intense. Like, if enough people believe in Bigfoot, Bigfoot becomes real, and there's the Department of Truth that has to shut down people believing in Bigfoot so the world doesn't get overrun with Bigfoot. So it's like a fun X-Files conspiracy theory book. And this is them dealing with an arc that I don't want to give away that's gone on from the very beginning. A character that has been the big villain of the story is in this issue in a very interesting, different way. Our leads are certainly in a spot. I love this title so much. It is so paranoia inducing. It is so gripping. It is so intense. I could not recommend this more. Highly check it out. Highly recommend you check it out. And Department of Truth, go back to the beginning, though. It is such a great run, top to bottom. I love this title oh so very much. All right, next up, alphabetically, is going to be a fun, insane indie from Image Comics. This is Escape number 4. This is a World War I or II. It's a war book. I'm so sorry. I'm not a historian, not a scholar of wars. It is a war book. It is a gripping Saving Private Ryan, like, my God, is this book gripping, but all of the soldiers are animals. And that really just adds a comic book element to it that is so much more interesting than just having guys, just having dudes at war. Instead, you're weirdly drawn to these anthropomorphic animals and their different species and how we judge each other and other each other and what war means and what blaming someone really does and how, we just decide that line in the sand was worth killing. It's just so good. The characterizations are solid. I love each character in this title. I'm just so impressed. It is by Rick Remender, who is responsible for one of my favorite comics of all time, Deadly Class. It is art by Acuna, who I have followed for quite a while, who is incredible. Daniel Acuna, such good work at the big houses, but also on his indie stuff. Big fan of this title. Highly recommended. All right, next up in alphabetical order, you lovelies. I want to make sure I get all of these right. After Escape, we've got from Marvel. Lost my voice for a second there. From Marvel, we've got a brand new number 1, and I think a lot of people are going to dig it. It is a horror book. It is the Infernal Hulk number 1. This is continuing the story from the Immortal Hulk into this new number 1. You can jump on here, though, and it's a big Monster Island-esque smash 'em up, huge, crazy horror plots, really intense art. Hulk is not Banner anymore, and the way they play that here in the horror elements is really captivating. Love this jumping on point. Really great plays if you love Hulk to get the new Hulk, Infernal Hulk number 1. And then the penultimate alphabetically of the books, we got another indie, another of my favorite writers, but doing his own thing, from Rick Remender and Daniel Acuna over to Robert Kirkman of Invincible and Walking Dead. Robert Kirkman and David Finch, another of my favorites, Skinbreaker. This is about a tribe who is, they've got a history of passing on the mantle of leader by warfare and by conquering. And one of the leaders changes everything and how that affects the whole tribe. The art by Finch is so captivating. They're like, humanoid, but you really are so invested in these characters. The writing is great. What it means to be human as told by not-humans. Love this book. Skinbreaker is really solid from Skybound and Image. Only on issue 3. Get after it. And my final of my favorite books of the week for the 26th is going to be Trinity, Daughter of Wonder Woman, number 5. This is such a silly book. It's so much fun. It involves corgis as a major plot element, not just corgis, but superheroes transformed into corgis, super powered corgis traveling through time and space. But it's also a really great date book. This is a great young adult book. This is a great book for kids to get into comics, but also adults. It's got the Daughter of Wonder Woman going on a date because of time travel with Dick Grayson. And it's great to see Dick Grayson again and remember how much his personality differs from, not Dick Grayson, Jason Todd. Apologies. I just looked at it and realized my error. Remembering how different personalities are and how different the dynamics of the Robins are. And to see him young again, and because of the cute hijinks, it is so much fun. Trinity, Daughter of Wonder Woman, number 5. It is real cute, and man, it just reminds you about young love and cuteness. All right, that is going to do it for my favorite comics of last week, the week of the 26th. I am going to pull up in real time the comics that are coming out this upcoming week. We're going to read those, and then we are going to get on out of here. And it's been a really fun Sunday hanging with you guys. So I'm going to coverprice.com, which is the main site I use. I use League of Comic Geeks for my title, for my covers. Like when I show you guys the cover, like when I show you the grid of all the comic books, these guys have like really great HD covers of the comic books. So this is from League of Comic Geeks, and then I build it into a little graph, right? And that's what goes on Patreon. So this is the cover image on Patreon, and then the 40 to 50 comics that are new that week that I read, I do letter grades underneath. So patreon.com/KoiJandro. It is how I'm able to do this show and the super chats, obviously, which I'm so grateful for. But if you guys want to check out the comics that I know where to pull, or a big price guide, like the actual place that I log all of my comics, like when I'm looking at my comics and I'm logging them before I put them away, I use Cover Price, and it's a fantastic resource, but it's also really good for new releases. So right now I'm going to December 3rd. We've only got 4 more comic weeks this year, you lovelies. I guess 5 if they do it on New Year's, but very few comics of the year left this year. At the end of the year, I'm going to do a favorite comics of the year, as well as I think I'm going to do like a big post of like my favorite 9 of every single week, because I've got them all still saved. But yeah, I'm going to do some fun end of the year stuff, because we are reaching the end of the year very quickly in December. Going to be doing favorite 25 movies of 2025. I just had a new top 5 enter the fray with, I got to talk about it. I'm going to do a review, I think, even though it's going to get 7 views. I got to talk about Train Dreams. Really messed me up. Really incredible film. So a lot of big stuff coming at the end of the year. Bear with me while I pull up this list. All right. So the books I'm going to be checking out this week, it is in order of who has the most books of the week. So Marvel has the most books that I'll be checking out this week. So they're going to go first. This is from Cover Press. We've got Amazing X-Men number 3, Binary number 3, Doctor Strange number 1, Fantastic Four number 6, Ryan North, Hulk Smash Everything number 1, Laura Kinney Sabretooth number 3, Marvel Black, White, Blood and Guts number 3, Miles Morales Spider-Man 41, Spider-Girl number 7, Spider-Man Noir number 3. Read that before you get in that Amazon show with Nick Cage next year. Spider-Man Homeroom Heroes number 4, fun all ages young adult book, or just young book right there. Ultimate Universe 2 years in number 1. We're reaching the end of Ultimate, which makes me real sad. Ultimate X-Men 22, Venom 252, back to the original legacy numbering, and Wiccan Witches Road number 1. So if you liked the Agatha show, boom, you got a comic. All right, next up from DC, bunch of stuff. We've got Absolute Green Lantern number 9, Adventures of Superman Book of L number 4, Batgirl number 14, Batman number 4. That is a great new title from Jorge Jimenez. Really digging that run of Matt Fraction writing. Birds of Prey number 28, Cheetah and Cheshire Rob the Justice League, DCKO Night Fight. Enjoying that one. That's issue 2. Captain Atom versus Superman. Gotham Academy first year number 3. That's another fun younger ages title in dating and cuteness. JSA number 14, Poison Ivy number 39, and Teen Titans Go number 10. All right, over from Image, the books I'm going to be checking out are Giant Size Criminal from Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. Very excited for that. Inferno Girl Red book 2. Really enjoyed book 1. Excited for that one. We've got Rook Exodus number 9. We've got a Startling Tales of Santa Claus 2025 annual. And then over from, let's see, who is next? From Dynamite Entertainment, I'm going to be checking out Terminator Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I don't know what that's going to be about, but I'm excited to check it out. From Dark Horse, we've got Nemesis Forever number 4. I know he's hated, but Mark Miller and his Nemesis books always scratch a certain itch for me, and I really enjoy them. And then from, let's see if we got any from, nothing from Boom this week. From Boom, Something is Killing the Children 45, one of my favorite comics of all time, with its 45th issue that's going to run to at least 100 issues, according to James Tynion IV. Lots of good stuff, you lovelies. All right, we've got another super chat. This one from Christian Unpronounceable, coming in hot. Thank you for the super chat, good sir. Saying, House Fund, thank you for all of the geeky thoughts. Happy to bring them to you on this fine Sunday. We almost went an hour anyway. We didn't have a lot of news, but we got to hang out, and that was fun. We got to talk comics at a little bit more length because it was a slow news week. This was an absolute blast. Thank you, Christian Unpronounceable, as always. Also want to give some love to Scotty Doesn't Know for the multiple super chats, for Darth Vadad with multiple super chats on his anniversary. Happy 29th anniversary. Douglas McKinney. Want to give some love to Cinemaze and his channel. Congrats on the 10K. Congrats on the 30K views on that video, man. And I also want to give some love to Spidey Sensei for kicking it off super chat wise. Very, very much appreciated. Guys, it is the last day of November 2025. It will never again be November 2025 for the rest of your life. Tomorrow is December, the last 31 days of 2025. It will never again be 2025 in your entire life. We've got a mere 31 days left. That is 24 times 31. That is 7,200 plus 24, 7,224 hours plus today left of 2025. Go do something fucking awesome. Go do something that you've always wanted to do. Go, hug someone you love. Go eat something you want. Go train in a way you never have. Go pick a new hobby because we're all dying and it's happening fast. So it is the end of 2025. We're going to be doing a lot of wrap-up stuff. And I'm really excited to do a best ofs. It's one of my favorite things is to look back at the year. Like I said a minute ago, I saw Train Dreams this week, and it's in my top 5 of the year. It really, really affected me. Incredibly powerful film. I'm going to be putting up a review this week for that as well. And then we get into the big wrap up of the year stuff. We've also got Marty Supreme coming up. We've got more Welcome to Derry tonight, Sunday. Today, I'm going to be back with a Welcome to Derry episode 6 review. We've also got what else is the rest of the year? Avatar. Is this thing on? We've got a few movies left, and the end of Welcome to Derry, and the conclusion to Stranger Things. So please subscribe. If you're 46 minutes into this video, I hope you're subscribed. I'd appreciate that. And yeah, lots of stuff to come. We got another super chat. Lobster 115 Lobster. Let's see here. Thank you, Lobster. Who do you prefer for Scott Summers? My friend says Jean. I say Emma. She makes him a better person, in my opinion. His best self. Oh, what a fun question. I think Emma is better for Scott when he's in crisis. I think Jean is better for Scott when he's happy. I think Emma is a wartime president, and I think Jean is a peacetime president. Yeah, it depends on what phase of his life he's in. I think different people come into our lives at different times. And I think that it's hard to compare who's better for someone because we change every year. I think that's why marriage is so hard, which is why 29 years, Douglas McKinney, congratulations. Because we're always changing, and who we need to be with at that time sometimes changes, and sometimes the person can't change with us, and sometimes they do change with us. I'm getting married in June, so I think I found my person that I'm going to be spending all of my changes with for the rest of my life. And I'm really excited about that. But I didn't know what that felt like until I met her. And then I was like, oh, this is what that feels like. So I think Jean is right for Scott sometimes. I think Emma's right for Scott sometimes. And I think it depends on if you can evolve with that person together and if the writer knows how to write that, more importantly. All right, that is going to do it. Great question, Lobster. Also, Brock52. It is my daughter Sadie's 5th birthday. Happy birthday. 5's a fun time, man. 5 is like reading starts to make sense in a different way. My little brother and sister are substantially younger than me, so I remember their markers a lot more. And I think kids are so cool, and like seeing people learn, and 5 is such a fun learning age. So happy birthday to Sadie. And hopefully you guys do something fun and rock out. And that is going to do it, you lovelies. I appreciate all the questions. I appreciate all super chats. I appreciate you guys being here on a Sunday. I never announce when these are going to be. That's going to change next year. Next year, I'm going to try to have a weekly schedule and adhere to that for the live streams and for videos and stuff. We're going to grow this beast with some technology. We're going to make this more of a show, and lots of stuff is coming. But I always want to say thank you guys, because 45 likes, 50 people watching without any notice. I just hit live 15 minutes before I was going to go live. I just went live, and you guys are in. Half 100 of you guys are in here, and you guys press like. So thank you very much. That is going to do it for this week, and I will see you guys tonight for Welcome to Derry episode 6. I will see you next week for lots and lots more. And I appreciate y'all very, very much. Have a good Sunday. Go do something awesome. You got 32 days left, 31 and a half days left of the year. Go be righteous. All right. Appreciate y'all.